If you are in the market for something pretty weird and pretty different, then let me introduce you to the M.A.D. Edition's M.A.D.2. It's all the weirdness you expect from Max Booser and his friends, and very, very different than the M.A.D.1, which is a driver-style watch. But even though it is so different, you can still see that through line. There's a M.A.D. identity that's being built up here. Scarcely do I like sequels more than the original, but this is one of those rare moments where I prefer the sequel. Let's talk about the M.A.D.2. So, I usually start these videos by looking at the specifications, but with this watch I think it would be wrong not to talk about the design first. So this little weirdo was designed by Eric Giroux, who has spent the last 20 years designing MB&F timepieces. If you're not as familiar with them, MB&F watches are weird. They are more like horological machines, or like primarily machines but telling the time is a side quest. They are not legible, they are not ordinary, and they are absolutely not affordable for us mere mortals. But this is where M.A.D. Editions comes in. It is the weird out there watch designs of MB&F at a far more affordable price. The big inspiration behind this is music, or more specifically, 90s house music and the 1990s club scene with vinyl records and DJs. I don't want to sound cringy and annoying, but there's almost an energy to this watch. Maybe it is the kinetic force, or the weird way of telling the time, or the color, or these three elements working in tandem, but it is really cool feeling. I said earlier that there's kinda a through line with the M.A.D. edition so far, and that is the creative use of the movement rotor in the design. When this rotor rotates, you will see small dots reflecting, resembling a DJ spinning records. From the back, we get a full view of the movement, which is a La Joux caliber G101, but more on that in the specifications portion. Learning to read the time on this watch is both intuitive and a learning curve, but dang fun. The hands almost look like guitar picks, displaying the time, which is a jump hour, and wandering minutes, creating a display that is read from left to right, and always in the center. There are two colors available, so I obviously have the green variation in right now, but there's also an orange model which looks fantastic from the pictures. Usually, in almost everything, I would prefer green or the cooler color, but something about this orange is calling to me. Maybe it's because I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan. But yeah, these are playful and weird and wonderful. I think the overall design plays really well together. I don't feel like there's too much of anything. I don't feel like there's too much open dial space. I think displaying the rotor outside of the dial compacts the dial space in a nice way. The lugs flow nicely, and the thinness is a huge plus for me. Let's get into the cold hard facts. So this has a case diameter of 42 millimeters, a thickness of 12.3 millimeters, and a stainless steel case material. On the wrist, it wears exactly how you'd expect a 42 millimeter to wear, but it doesn't feel like a dinner plate on the wrist despite the small bezel. So here it is on my 5.5 inch wrist versus my husband's 7-inch wrist. There's no getting around it. It is large. I think it is right on the edge of what I can wear with a small wrist, but it is right at home on my husband's average size wrist. I think this would best suit a 7-inch wrist and up, but as always, it depends on you, how you like your watches to wear, the shape of your wrist. I personally really enjoy oversized watches, so I think it looks cool. One thing I have to point out for the Itty Bitty Wrist Committee is that this strap can easily fit my 5.5 inch wrist. Usually, when I buy a watch on the strap, I need to buy something aftermarket because it is too long, so this was a big plus for me. Another part of the wearing experience I should highlight is the thickness. Or thinness, rather, I should say, but very different than the M.A.D.1. Significantly thinner, more discreet, which is also another big plus for me. Back on the specifications, this only has 30 meters of water resistance, but it's not meant to be a dive watch, so I think that is fine. This dons a surprising amount of lume, with loomed hours, and dots on the rotor. Well, I guess that shouldn't be surprising, as the inspiration behind this watch was the 90s and dancing and the club scene, so of course there has to be lume. Powering this watch is the La Joux G101 automatic caliber with MB&F jump hour module, giving 64 hours of power reserve. Usually, for myself personally, this is just my opinion, I don't care for a display case back. Unless you're doing something pretty interesting with the movement. Unless it's a particularly beautiful movement, then we gotta see it, then show it to us. But for the M.A.D.2, it would actually feel wrong without the display case back. The whole design feels almost integrated. You need to see the movement as well for the whole watch to tell its story. Is that wanky to say? I think it is, but I stand by it. Functionally, this is quite simple, only really tells hours and minutes, but it is the execution that makes this so special. It's doing simple things in an elaborate, almost extravagant way. I've always had a soft spot for things being done differently. You know, when a watch looks almost like how a child would draw a watch. Yeah, this is the exact opposite of that. So if you are liking the looks of these and wanting to purchase, these are only available through their raffle, which is taking place on April 1st, and it is not an April Fool's joke. These are priced at 2,900 Swiss francs before VAT. The orange is reserved for the tribe and friends only, so the people who have purchased an MB&F before and friends of the brand, but the green version is available through the raffle and not limited. I've read somewhere that the first batch will contain around 2,000 pieces. I don't remember where I read that, or if it's confirmed. I mean, it's probably come through for the entirety of the video, but I really, really enjoy this. It's still a bit weird for me. My tastes lean a bit more classical, but I completely see who this is for. This isn't someone's first watch or their go anywhere, do anything watch. This is for a real collector, maybe someone who has a few pieces already in their collection and wants something different. I think everything about this has been mindfully done, even down to the box it comes in, looking like a DJ setup. Just those details have been thought about and thought through, which all affects the consumer experience. I love that avant-garde horology is being made more accessible through brands like M.A.D. Editions, and I love that this is an avenue that higher-end brands and watchmakers feel is worth exploring. I think of Hajime Asaoka and Kurono Tokyo, and even some of the collaborations between Studio Underdog and H. Moser. But honestly, no one is doing anything like this. I love it. But anyways, guys, that's the M.A.D.2, some of my thoughts on it. I'd love to read all your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll see you down there. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We cover all kinds of watches on this channel. Weird ones and normal ones too. And now, Pope tier patrons. Get their names on the screen. Okay, I'm gonna see how long I can keep it spinning for. Let's get a good spin. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, it's slowing down. Can I? Ho-ho! Okay, one more. Yeah! I think I've mastered this. One more? No! That was still pretty good.